East Podcast, WATP.
This is a show that is hosted by a guy who used to be with another guy, and they were very popular when he was with the other guy. But then he left that guy, and now he's doing his own thing.
Does it sound familiar?
Yes, there's a lot of that going on in the world of radio. So I want to get into what the show is now, but I think, Andy, you brought some research as where it came from.
Yeah, I dug in a little bit.
So he was on the show called Toucher and Rich, and they were huge. They were the, I guess, record-breaking ratings in Boston when they were on the radio. It was a big deal when they were on the radio. And then, earlier this year or late last year, all of a sudden, our boy Rich is gone. He's off the show. And so the Toucher show goes on, and Rich has started up on a competing station.
What are they touching now?
With some new people. So I think that's where I want to start, Andy, if you know what you have as far as clips talking about that.
Number one, this is just the news item of the show falling apart.
All right.
The very popular morning show duo Toucher and Rich have broken up. Fred Toucher confirming the departure of Rich Shertenlieb on the 98.5 The Sports Hub program this morning. It's unclear exactly what led up to the separation, but there were reports of discord and contract issues. Toucher says his new show will launch at the beginning of next year.
This was big news, obviously. A lot of sports talk
in Boston
going on, yes.
Yeah.
Well, Boston is like this crazy sports-crazed town where, of course, Barstool came out of that. And there's, Kirk Minahan went from radio over to Barstool. And you have all of these shows where personalities, and a lot of it is based on sports.
Right. Big teams come out. They have all the teams for all the sports to get behind. And
they've won a lot of championships in the last couple of decades. So people like sports there.
Right.
It's funny how that works.
Unlike our town where nobody wins anything.
Yeah, it's not like Detroit.
So Fred Toucher, after Rich just leaves the show unceremoniously.
Right.
It seemingly they were renegotiating contracts, and then this was the big red flag in clip 2 where Fred started to see the show falling apart.
Earlier this year, Rich said some stuff on and off the air about me I didn't like. So I texted him some things that I had been holding on to from the course of our relationship, which he did not like. And around that time, or around maybe a little bit later, his agent told my agent, hey, maybe it's better if the guys negotiate separately. We'd always negotiated as a team. Now I said, okay, fine. I don't care. Yeah, we'll negotiate separately. Now, the prevailing wisdom in radio is if you're a team, you negotiate together because you have more value together as you do apart.
As we'll soon find out.
Right.
So they just... Fred was a hands-off kind of guy. It parallels Opie and Anthony so much.
Yeah, that's what the person who suggested this said, is that it looks like Rich is kind of more the Opie of the two. And he's really trying to work every angle and figure out how to maximize money. And Fred Toucher's going, well, I don't really like this guy as my co-host, but we're doing really well in the ratings and people are listening. We're making a lot of money. So he's like, I'm happy to just come here, turn on the microphone and do my job.
And there was a lot of discussion about how he didn't really know Rich outside of the show. Nobody really knew what he was like as a guy in real life.
Right. And he even said, he asked all his co-hosts, I watched this too. He asked all his co-hosts, do any of you guys know him on a personal level? They're like, no, I'm not at all. And he's like, and I like Fred's approach. He's like, which is fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
If we don't want to be my friend, we don't have to be friends. We can just do a show together.
But Fred was the opposite. He's describing his colonoscopy and his marital problem. I'm speculating. But
what is this, the Tukey show?
He's more upfront about his personal life to his audience.
Sure.
And Rich is a behind the scenes, a big idea guy. Let's do this for promo. I saw their biggest video was him going out and addressing Justin Bieber's audience. And it's well, that's because people like Justin Bieber. It's not your biggest views on your channel are Justin Bieber's views, not yours. But that was he's like, I'm going to capitalize on Bieber.
Right.
And that's how they're getting views. But Fred is going to bring up something. I really tried to dig around and figure out what this was, but apparently they had some off-air falling out that he said it was public, but this, I think, is what drove the wedge in the show.
So when I was out with the throat issue, remember when I couldn't talk in the beginning of the year, and then I came out and I went to Dr. Zervis, and he said that, you can't talk for 3 weeks. You're going to have to miss 5 weeks of work. I didn't get paid. When I was out with all that, I got into a problem with Rich that became public. He went to management. We had a meeting that was very, very bizarre. But after the meeting, I did what management wanted me to do. They asked if I would do something. I agreed. I thought the problem would go away if I, bit the bullet. And from that point on, I thought it would be business as usual.
So apparently Rich is filming him taking a shit or something.
I'm sure that's what it is. It's a weird meeting to have.
So something happens, and basically they just can't work together anymore. Rich's agent says we should negotiate our contract renewal separately.
Right.
And I assume walked into the management's office and said, unless you give me X amount of dollars more, I'm not going to work with Fred. And they said, best of luck. Yeah. So 2 more just context clips. The reason that Fred got to stay on is because he is a company man.
Yeah, he's easy to deal with.
Yeah.
The management likes him.
Because I want communication to be more open. But I talked to you guys, and Rich didn't discuss and this is not an insult to Rich, but he didn't discuss any of this with you guys.
No.
Like he didn't act like anything was going on. So you have to understand, and the reason I'm saying that is I'm being completely honest with you. But I can only talk from my perspective, and I talked to you guys, and he wasn't saying that either. Now, I can only speak for myself. My negotiation went well. Now, believe it or not, because of the way I've been portrayed, I have a good relationship with management. And part of the reason I have a good relationship with management is because I've taken a lot of bullets.
Okay, so the next one this is where you realize who the villain is, because
we're only hearing one side of this, but yes.
But when you don't have to hear it. All you have to do is go to Rich's YouTube channel. It's called Hey Rich Hey.
Does it exist? Because I clicked the link and it was broken.
Or what it is all Toucher and Rich content.
Okay.
It's populated with all their old stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because of this clip 5.
To kind of speak of the lack of communication, when Rich pulled the Toucher and Rich accounts and put them in his name, he never went, hey, Fred, I'm pulling the Toucher and Rich accounts. They have your name on them, and I'm putting them in my name. He never said anything to me about them. When we did the dumb syndication thing that I felt was never going to work, when the syndication thing ended, he told me and Nick and Mike and John at the same time, even though it was my name on the show. But that was just the way Rich was. He didn't really tell me anything, and I went along with it. It was everything was going well. We had good ratings.
So he's a just get along kind of guy. All right, whatever, I'll go along with it. Things are good. I don't want to rock the boat.
Yeah, that's to his detriment. And
maybe not, because he's still on the radio on the current station.
Right.
Where everyone's listening to him.
Yeah. And Rich takes all the content, goes over to do classic rock radio, basically. That was what I understood. Rich didn't really want to do sports talk. He wanted to do something different. So he just took all of their content and left. And now it's all on Rich's channel. All of the Toucher and Rich stuff is over there. And he had a short of him showing up to his first day on the job at iHeart on his new radio show. Mm-hmm. It's the saddest fucking 1 minute you ever. He's just, nobody's there to greet him. He's walking in at 6 a.m. Absolutely nobody he's looking around. Nobody's welcoming him. Nobody's glad that he's there. He walks into the studio and it's just being run by a robot. It's pathetic. And
there's no money in radio anymore.
Yeah.
There's a couple stations maybe per market that are doing well, and the rest of them are just dying.
Yeah. So not maybe a step backwards. I don't know what Rich thought he was going to get. But.
Well, it's interesting, too, that because I heard that same thing where he wasn't really that interested in sports, but his current lineup is Ted Johnson, who was a former linebacker for the Patriots, 3-time Super Bowl winner, is one of the co-hosts. And then you have this guy, Michael Hurley, who's a sports commentator. And, it's hard to keep up because I looked this up. When they launched this show in May, it was Ted, Michael, and then Charlotte Wilder and Mike Giardi. Those two are gone already. And then you got Kenny Young, the producer. I guess he's still there. But it was surprising to see, there's no women on this show, which is a great thing. But there used to be. And she's already gone. She's already doing other things. But she's also involved in sports.
Seems like he got there. Things weren't what he expected. The grass wasn't greener.
Right.
So now he's just bringing on these sports guys to bring back the good old days of what people want, what people are showing up for.
So now, let's see what kind of spicy talk they have going on in the morning when you wake up with Rich.
Thanks, Kenny.
Grow the beard back. Be a man.
JoJo said he liked it, too.
Yeah, you have a nice
JoJo's nice as hell. He's not going to say anything mean about anybody.
No, I mean it, though. You have a nice, clean-shaven face, bro.
Thanks, man.
Ever since, I like my men burly. Yeah, come on.
He likes a bear. He likes a good bear.
Take your shirt off, you coward. I want you to look like the guy in the Tough Enough video. Put a wrench in your hand. Let's get a little oil on that face. Come on. Do a little dancing with smoke in the background. Squeal like a pig.
Get those clippers out of there.
I just love that. You need to be burlier, son. Your family doesn't even like you. Your family can't look at you without a beard. Do something.
Yeah, did you hear what his wife said yesterday?
So one of the guys shows up with a cleanly shaven face, and they're like, all right, we don't have to do any prep today. We can just talk about this. This is a guy show. Guys talking about beards and facial hair, and they got some great stories about having beards. And this one is a long one. It makes zero sense, and there's no payoff. Spoilers on this clip.
I feel you, man.
Yeah.
I've been there before. I have been there before. There was, as a matter of fact, when my best friend got married, the one thing he asked me to do, because he thought it was hysterical how fast that I grew facial hair, it was I want you to grow a 3-month ungroomed beard for as my best man. It's the only thing I'm asking you to do. I don't care about throwing a bachelor party. I just want you to have this. And I had a beard where I looked like just a serial killer.
All right, are you following this so far? Best friend's getting married. He's the best man. And he goes, I don't care about a bachelor party or anything else. I just want you to grow a beard out that looks ridiculous. Does that make any sense? No, of course not. But let's see where he's going with this.
Yeah, it was down here. It was all scruffy. There was crap in it. I didn't know how to eat right. I'd eat a burrito and parts of it would just get stuck in it, and I didn't know how to do it.
Smell hours later.
Yeah, and I didn't know to cut around my lip, and it was just all hanging out over my lip. I looked absolutely awful. Yeah. And when I finally shaved it, I looked at myself in the mirror, and it looked like my head had grown into the size of a peanut. For some reason, when visually you're used to someone's head being bigger because of the beard, and even if it's just a little bit of a beard, when you shave it, it is the most unsettling thing, even for yourself looking into the mirror.
Wow, what a take, huh? So I grew out this long beard, and then I shaved it. I look different.
Yeah.
Because I'd shaven my beard.
Think about it. Would this be interesting to you? Would you listen to this?
Yeah, say that your buddy was trying to piss off his mother-in-law or something.
Right. What's the point of this? Doesn't make any sense. I'd rather you throw me a bachelor party than grow out your beard. But okay, whatever. So you heard him say right there, he's just like, so what's the deal? Does your face change when you have a beard and then you shave a beard?
Is it truly a thing that if you've had a beard for a long time and you shave it, that your skin tightens? Is your face truly shaped in a different way, or is it just that visually we are used to seeing it one way and it just doesn't look right?
What a stupid question that is. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
The fuck's he talking about? What's he getting on about? Guys, I feel like my face looks different than it did before I grew a beard. Is there something to that? No. Yeah. I mean, do you have it out for 20 years? Then, yeah, your face is going to be different.
Yeah, it was covered with hair, and now it's not.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
But he goes on and on. This conversation goes on and on and on. And this is the thing that I think radio people do so poorly, or well, based on what they're trying to accomplish, is they can take a mundane topic like facial hair and get 20 minutes out of it. And we're just going to talk about our experiences with facial hair. And it even gets to the point where they got some funny ideas for bits.
You should grow an evil guy goatee. Become evil Hurley.
Dude, I'll Venmo you $5 if you do that. I'm serious.
Just a goatee?
Yeah, just a goatee.
Like a Rob Nen mid-90s reliever goatee?
Soul Patch.
That guy on the
Soul Patch.
There's a guy in the Dodgers right now with the chin beard keeping it alive for the bullpen guys in the 90s.
That's tough. That's a tough look.
Wow, good stuff, guys. I'll Venmo you $5 if you look ridiculous. Well, I'll do it for $2.50. Wow, that's awesome. This is the first segment of the morning. This is what they're sitting down and
It's not even
chatting about.
It's not even bad. How about $50 if you have a Hitler mustache for a week? Something.
I'll do it.
Yeah. So
I'll do it for $0. All right. So then this goes on and on. Finally, it's time to segue into the bumper, into the commercial break. And this is a radio pro right here. He's been doing it for decades. This is how you do it.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
Just start eating a lot of French food. It's weird.
Yeah, then you're looking good. All right. Well, 617-931-1007. Someone who does not have facial hair and doesn't need it in order to dominate from the three-point line is Peyton Pritchard. He is a god amongst men, and last night he absolutely lit up the TD Garden. We'll get to that right after this.
Who's gonna take the weight? Who's gonna take the blame?
Every conversation you hold should begin something like this. Did you catch the game last night?
You are listening to the Rich Shertenlieb Show here on WZLX.
That's like a guy's sports show right there. Every conversation they would start with, did you see the game last night? Let's talk about the game. What else is there to talk about, right? Beards? Yeah, okay. Talk about beards or the game. Or we could talk about nipples. Now, this is interesting because you brought up the social media presence and how Rich is all about the publicity and he wants to get the notoriety, whether it helps their radio show or not. And so there's people who cut up little segments and put them on Instagram for him, get people excited about the radio show to check it out. And he made an observation on this latest video.
Yesterday, Hurley, you posted 2 videos on our Instagram. And Emerson, you have this room so effing cold that my nipples... I could have dialed a phone with those
Should I have blurred them out like I did when you took your shirt off?
My nipples are gratuitously poking through my shirt.
Next time,
videos.
kid.
So Rich is really concerned about what his nipples were looking like on the Instagram. So I'm like, wow, that must be crazy. Let me check that out. I decided to find the link to that and to see what he's talking about. I don't even need to play the audio. It really doesn't matter what they're talking about. Let's just check out Rich's nips here in this shirt that he's wearing. Okay, so that's it right there. Andy, you put this guy to shame. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know.
What are we talking about?
I can't relate in any single way.
I could tell that he has nipples, but that's kind of where it starts and ends for me. What I love about this,
Not impressed.
This is my favorite part of checking out these guys' Instagrams because I know how this works. They work for corporate, iHeartMedia, and iHeartMedia is going to be like, no, guys, it's really important we get engagement on social media. That's one of the ways that we measure the success of the show. We sell advertisers on that. So we want to get a lot of posts up there. We want people engaging in it. So there are 3 comments on this video. And this video is about the Patriots winning a football game, which is, I don't know, it used to be a big deal in New England, and maybe it's not anymore, but whatever. So they put up this thing. It's not about his nipples. This is the observation he makes after the fact. And the first comment is from Mike Hurley, who's a co-host on the show. He says, "Hey nipples, hey," at Hey Rich Hey. And that, of course, came out a day after this was posted, after Rich made the comment on the show. And then the next commenter is Emerson, who's also a co-host on the show. I should mention there's a guy named Emerson, another guy named JoJo on there now. And it says, "OMFG, those nipples on Rich are so hard," with an emoji. And then the response to that is, let's find out. It's Rich himself at Emerson.
Oh, with the same joke.
"I could dial a phone with those things." Yeah, that's what you said on the radio. You must have written that one down, I guess. Pretty good. Dial a phone.
Dude, they're
imagine.
Their engagement on their videos is terrible.
Brutal.
It's through the floor. Shit that is 4 months old has barely 400 views on it.
Yeah.
It's really pathetic.
Well, they have almost no presence online. And that was kind of bummed me out because, like I said, I was looking for his YouTube channel. I couldn't find anything. You found some stuff. They had a big celebrity on.
Yeah.
In a little conversation with, what was it, Zakk Wylde?
Zakk Wylde comes on, and all he can talk about at the beginning, you got to love it when you're a famous guitar player that is currently touring, and all somebody wants to know about is somebody that you played with once back. You know, this is
do a little research. Hey, Zakk Wylde, you met Ozzy Osbourne, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I toured with Ozzy.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Jesus Christ.
All I know about Zakk Wylde.
All right. So
that's a clip 6.
Okay.
It is kind of wild when you think about, like, for the outside looking in, there's, you know, when people, like, first, when you're a kid, there was all these legends of Ozzy and, you know, The Dirt, which came out. A lot of people learned about how when Motley Crue met him, you know, he took the thing of ants and just snorted up a big line of ants on a popsicle stick. And they knew at this moment, all right, we thought we were crazy. Ozzy's just the king.
Did you like that? Yes. Yeah, I did too. That was awesome.
Yeah, Zakk wasn't there. The story that he's referring to,
I know,
has nothing to do with him at all.
It's so
embarrassing.
Embarrassing for Rich. Just he doesn't know anything. I mean, at one point, Zack's there with his wife, and Rich just starts talking to his wife because he doesn't have anything to say to Zakk anymore.
So sad.
He doesn't know how to view it.
He doesn't seem embarrassed.
Right. You wouldn't pull up a Wikipedia page or something. Like, it's your best-selling album is blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
At least Chris Farley is ashamed of himself.
Yeah. And a fan. He's just, nervous.
If we were to skip to clip 8, this was one of the dumber things that came out in the interview is Zakk Wylde's children's names. Apparently, he's naming them after guitar players and bands and shit.
Okay. I want to meet Isotopes. Sounds like a cool kid.
Just turned 12.
So Hendrix and Sabbath are okay. So are either, or is anyone in your family thinking about, or are they in a band and potentially doing what Dad does for a living?
Well, Hendrix and Sabbath aren't, but my daughter Pussy Riot is fully going to take up the drums. Hendrix and Sabbath.
Oof. It's not great.
It's bad. Okay, one more. This is really pissing me off. You can see that Zakk Wylde is sporting all of the Pantera gear. He's got a Pantera hat on and a Pantera shirt. And I am a Pantera fan, and I saw Zakk Wylde play Pantera songs. Now they're trying to make this the new version of Pantera, and it's upsetting to me.
Okay. I understand. It's no dime bag.
Yeah, clip 9.
All right, well, we've got Zakk Wylde in studio. He is going to be performing not only tomorrow night in front of Metallica with the great Pantera, and we'll get into all of that as well.
Pantera celebration.
Man, what a great, when I heard that news, I was like, he's the only one that can do it, and it's not just because he's got the chops, it's because of how close he was to the band. It just felt right. So a lot of people are excited. This is the first time you're here in Boston, by the way, with Pantera. I know you hit New Hampshire, so there's a lot of people who are going to be seeing your version of Pantera. Yeah.
The fellas.
Yeah, so a lot of people, I know you've been touring for a while, but this is the first time in Boston. So you get Metallica, you get Pantera as well. Also, I want to talk to you about the Berserkers Festival.
Wolfie's going to be out there tomorrow, too.
Yeah, which I like the new Mammoth stuff.
Wolf and the fellas, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Wolfgang Van Halen's the best Van Halen. Out of all the Van Halens.
I mean,
and fucking Zakk Wylde and the guy from Anthrax. That's the best version of Pantera. It's not like the brothers that are dad made the whole band, and the singer that fucking doesn't have it anymore. They got to they got to go down like a step and a half so they can still sing the songs. But yeah, go see Pantera.
Well, it is his job to promote that show, but I understand your anger. Yes.
The fuck? I'm so triggered by Iron Maiden and Pantera.
I know. What are these people talking about? By the way, he said that he's the best guy to be the guitarist for Pantera. Also, whoever the guitar tech was for Dimebag Darrell, probably the best guy to be the... Because people don't know this. The guitar tech knows how to play all the songs. If the guitarist breaks a finger, the guitar tech can go on there and not miss a beat for the most part.
That was my biggest problem when I saw him. It was just Zakk Wylde being Zakk Wylde over Pantera songs. It did not... He had to actively be like, well, I'm just going to nail this one. Like, I'll play Cemetery Gates the way you want to hear it. I'll play Cowboys from Hell the way you want to hear it, only tuned down a step and a half. It just didn't, it's not the same. It's not the same band. Just call it something else.
All right, Andy, we need to get you to relax a little bit. I think what you need are some sounders. One of the things we all love about radio shows is there's, usually a guy who's got a soundboard in front of him, has some hilarious sounders. And of course, Rich is talking about his nipples. Now, I personally have never heard a hard nipple sounder before, but they have it covered.
Yeah, he's right, Rich. Like Monday mornings, like you're pretty fired up coming off of NFL Sundays. You were definitely fired up yesterday.
But then he walks into the studio and...
Is that like a fired up meter?
It's a
when I'm poking,
let's check it.
That means I come walk in and I'm poking, and you guys are like, oh boy, here comes one from Rich.
You were
here we go.
Yeah, especially a rare Patriots win. Like your nipples are hard. You go from 6 to midnight. Now, if we're talking like LeBron James playing basketball with his son, you go from midnight to 6, and you're soft as hell.
It's like a turkey timer.
Okay. So for some reason, the nipples get hard one at a time.
Okay.
One of them the other. It's pretty funny stuff, though, right? He's all fired up on a Monday morning. So his nipples are getting hard. That's usually what I think when I see a guy with hard nipples. Like, oh, you're fired up, obviously. So you heard that the joke about the turkey timer. Wow, this gets pretty funny. This is a hot take right here.
It's like a turkey timer, except for the hot take timer. Just I'm ready to. The takes are ready. The takes are ready when the turkey timers are poking.
Boom! Hot take! So apparently, this discussion that started with, hey, you can see my nipples on an Instagram video, is now it's like, and by the way, that means you got a funny joke ready to go. We can see your nips. Get ready to laugh, everybody. This is going to get great.
Nope.
Oh, well, what you definitely want to hear, though, is them using the sounder again into the break. You can't let that go. I mean, it's such a good one. You don't want to just let that play a few times.
You could put a meat thermometer anywhere.
All right, well, we have to break. We'll be right back.
We have to break. We'll be right back. Two more times. Everyone laughing out there? Hey, JJ's in the chat. And JJ's been a member for 5 months. Thank you, JJ. And he says, Pantera was excellent with Zakk Wylde at Madison Square Garden. He saw them, and he said they were great. He wasn't trying to be Dimebag. Andy says, JJ, how dare you? And he's not having it. But
I saw Lamb of God blow them off the stage.
All right. I mean, was it a battle of the bands?
No.
Do you know for sure they won?
No, they were good. I mean, it was fun, but it's just not the same band.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Okay. So then they come into their third segment. Now, they've already talked about beards. They've talked about nipples. And they start up the third segment, and they're like, we probably haven't talked about those things enough.
We kind of ran the gamut within the first 30 minutes of the show. We might have to revisit some of that later on, possibly. Maybe not the nipple stuff. Everything else, perfectly fine.
Oh, yeah. Let's get back to the beard talk. Spoiler, they will. So apparently they're like, yeah, wow, we used up all my notes in the first 30 minutes. I guess we'll have to keep rehashing this. But it's also sports talk time. And so they're going to play some audio because the night before, the Boston Celtics won their 4th straight game to start the season. And there's this guy, Peyton Pritchard, who scored 28 points off the bench. Very exciting. And so they play the sports announcer calling the game, and they react to what he says.
Pritchard magic! The Pritching Hour in late October.
Oh, stop.
The Pritching Hour.
No, I like that. I like it. I like it.
That was good.
Yeah, I did too. I like it.
That was good.
Oh, shut up.
That was great.
Stop.
That was great.
Please stop.
That's annoying. That's annoying.
I'm giving Drew.
Is it annoying?
Yeah, it's
yes,
annoying.
Almost immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, who the fuck was doing that?
I couldn't tell. There's too many different people on the show, but someone's just making a loud noise. And I was like, stop it. No, seriously. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm trying to get fired.
Yeah, right. Kind of sounded like Man Cow for a second. Everyone screamed, I love it. I don't like it. I'm making noises. Look at me.
It's like a drummer warming up.
So
Yes, thank you.
this becomes a discussion about if that's a cool sports call or not, to say the Pritching Hour when Pritchard hit that 3-pointer.
Or be Harlan and be like, a dagger right between the eyes, leading to bleeding from the face until you die 1,000
With no
times.
regard for human life. Great. Hey, listen, that's great too. Bang! That's awesome. Love it. And the Pritching Hour. That's great too.
Unnatural. That's called unnatural.
No, it's not. It's called doing
Just like the
something
Pritching
new.
Hour.
Yeah.
So this turns into this guy embarrassing himself with like, I know how to do it. You go, wow, blee, blee, blee. Like, okay, yeah, I guess. Sounds exciting. And then there's some little inside baseball talk right here about why a sports announcer would have things ready like the pritching hour when it's appropriate to say something like that.
Emerson, you know what that reeked of? Syracuse. That reeked of the Syracuse grad doing Syracuse things. That is something that was written down beforehand.
So it's well known, of course, Sam Roberts went to Syracuse. Syracuse is a very highly known and well thought of communication school. A lot of people go to Syracuse for communications. So I guess he's saying that he got a good education there and learned how to announce games, and that sucks. It's dumb. So that was the big topic. I guess people had to just take sides on that because I was like, yeah, whatever. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible.
Fucking boring.
Yeah, it's just boring. No one gives a shit. You would think they'd talk about the actual game more instead of just like how the guy called a three-pointer. But don't worry, guys. There's more to this. It's definitely a radio show.
But you can win those with Can You Handle the Hurley at 7:30. Also at 9:10, the $1,000 bribe. Your first of 13 keywords that could earn you $1,000. Listen for them at 10 after the hour, every hour through 9 o'clock. In studio, Emerson Latzia from DraftKings. You brought us a bunch of free DraftKings swag to cover up my pokey nipples.
Yeah. Hey, don't forget, people can go on the DK shop, man. Go on the DK shop and grab your own swag, dude. Or shop DraftKings.com.
So Emerson works for DraftKings. And he's like, hey, you can go buy DraftKings swag. Why would I do that? You're a gambling site. I don't want to own a DraftKings shirt.
And it's also not swag if you buy it.
Correct. Right. That's not how that works at all. I thought that was really stupid. Like, hey, do you want to own a shirt from this company I work for? No. Do you?
Yeah.
I think I'd be really upset if I lost a 3-team parlay by a point and I'm wearing my DraftKings shirt.
I know when I hit a jackpot at the casino, the first thing I do is go and buy a T-shirt with the name of the casino.
Yeah.
That's how you splurge.
Why would anybody do that?
All right, here's another feature to the show. It's the talkback. So when you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, there's a way that you can pretty much record a voicemail for them, and then they can play that back pretty quickly.
Let's go to the talkbacks, which you can leave us one over there on the iHeartRadio app. Type in WZLX or Rich Shertenlieb. And I love it when we get in the morning and already before 7 o'clock, we are fully loaded. Let's keep them coming. Here's one.
Why all of a sudden do I feel like Emerson is going to be required to wear a Peyton Pritchard jersey in the bedroom?
That's right. Because you had that little king last night. Get your wife all hot and bothered.
I go, babe, the Peyton Pritchard jersey stays on during sex.
And they'll have to act like, oh, that's amazing. That's really funny.
He's gay for him. It's so hilarious.
Could you imagine, guys? He's having sex with that jersey on, right?
15 more minutes, guys. Come on.
Okay, yeah. All right, let's play another one from the talk back. And this was addressing the nipple talk that we had earlier.
Yes. All this talk about nipples is getting mine ready to cut glass. Oh, yeah. Makes me want to spike a football between Emerson's butt cheeks.
Oh, my God.
That was aggressive.
That is from a grokking to remember.
Doesn't even make sense.
Fucking thing sucks.
Makes you want to spike a football between butt cheeks? Okay. Good stuff.
Is your dick the football?
I guess they're all like, can you imagine? All right, this is just a rando clip that I have on here because they're talking about this movie called Here, starring Tom Hanks. And I guess it's getting panned. The critics are not loving it. And so they're talking about that. And this just jumped out at me as I was listening to the show. I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
Ben Franklin shows up. Ben Franklin? I got deep into these reviews. Our House by the Talking Heads starts playing if you didn't think that was too on the nose.
Okay. Chris made the same reaction I did when I heard it. I was like, Our House by the Talking Heads? Burning down the house is by the Talking Heads. Our House is madness. But I guess that gets confused a lot. People think that Our House is a Talking Heads song. I didn't know that.
No, me neither.
Yeah, weird. Anyway, wrong. No one corrects them. Moving on. So they're having this conversation. Now, this is a podcast version they put out, but I guess they do play music too, because the reaction to the song that was just being played, and I don't know what the song is because I didn't hear it. So they're coming out of the song, and this is just bizarre.
I like the part of that song where the guy raps all angry in the middle. It is the Rich Shertenlieb Show here on WZLX.
Hey, it's like, you suck. This is too whiny. Let me drop some bars.
I'll give you $1 million if you can name that guy.
Well, it's $5 for shaving your face and $1 million for naming the singer that sucks to some band. But I liked his impression of how the guy was singing. Probably spot on. Probably good stuff.
What's going on my board?
Yeah. Hard to tell from the context I heard. Now, of course, this is a show out of New England, so you have to talk about Tom Brady. It's required, just like in Canada, they have to play 50% of their music has to be from Canadian-born artists. In New England, you have to talk about Tom Brady 25% of the time on every talk show. And it actually is going to go up for some reason. And so let's talk about how hot Tom Brady is. Andy, feel free to jump in with your thoughts on this at any time.
Tom Brady, who we all know probably is just, he's Mr. Perfect. He was born, extremely good looking. He has this football talent. You don't think he's not good looking?
He got good looking. Yeah. I don't think he showed up good looking.
That's
he
a
worked
good
on
point.
it.
That's a good point. Because
Get some help.
If you look at him when he first joined the league, he does kind of have a little bit of the pie face.
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you.
He's got a little bit of a Shertenlieb face going on. But then he turned himself into an Adonis.
Yeah, how hot is Tom Brady? This is the talk we want to have on our guy show in the morning. When we're done talking about beers, let's talk about how hot Tom Brady is. I mean, he's hotter now than he was. Oh, no, I agree with you on that. That's 2006 Tom Brady was my favorite. I mean,
he's the Nickelback of quarterbacks. Canadian music reference.
Oh, I see. I get it now.
Let's find that in New England, you have to talk about Tom Brady 25% of the time. When Tom Brady's commentating, he has to talk about Tom Brady 100% of the time.
I know. I finally got to hear Tom Brady doing the color because he did it for the Bills game this past week. I mean, I watch the Red Zone channel. I hear him from time to time, but not like really for an entire game. And every single thing he brings up is like, well, when I was a quarterback and we did this, and I would talk to that coach and he would tell me, blah, blah, blah. It was just like everything was through the lens of Tom Brady rather than just analyzing what's going on in the field.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, another play just happened.
Yeah, right. When you're done,
that's why Romo is good.
He's the
Romo puts you on the field, and
and
you get like insider information like that. And Brady's just like, oh yeah, but me.
I agree.
Me.
Let's get back to Instagram real quick. I have another example of the videos that they post when you check out their Instagram page. And of course, they're watching the World Series.
But that still was not the weirdest thing that happened. This is Kike Hernandez.
Oh my goodness. What?
Hell yeah.
Dude, that is so weird right there.
That is one guy.
They hip thrust for a high five.
It was a tap.
They knocked their penises against each other.
They were bumping uglies, Ted.
Like they go like
penis to penis.
Yeah, they go crotch to crotch there. It's really
Hello.
All right, who is this?
It's the LA Dodgers celebratory penis.
Oh God, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be around here.
What's up, boys?
What's up? How you hanging today?
This is some bit. It's almost like when Howard Stern, all of a sudden there's a knock on the door and it's like, oh, a celebrity's here.
You know what I love doing?
What is that, Mr. Celebratory Penis?
Banging my celebratory penis against other celebratory penises.
Okay, well, that sounds kind of fun. I appreciate it. All right, there.
Just sitting here rocking and docking.
Okay, thank you so much. All right.
They did it like it was so
fucking rich. He's like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, fun is fun, but okay, a lot of penis talk out here.
A little blue.
Yeah, let's talk more about Tom Brady and how hot he is. Come on.
Synchronized.
The other guy did not. He's like, oh, we're going for a chest bump, huh?
Oh
no! There's one guy curling and one guy like
holding up their laptops and shit. This is the budget that we were talking about earlier, Andy, when you were saying he showed up and there's fucking no one there.
Yeah,
there's no production. They don't do a video version of the show like everyone else is doing. They're just dying on the vine.
It's on iHeart.
Right now.
You have a budget to facilitate this. Well, you were just watching another one that was like this too. They're just holding up their laptops to each other.
Yes, that one out of North Carolina, whatever it was, Charlotte, I think.
YouTube is your friend, guys. You can figure it out.
It's terrible. So you heard that there's a trivia segment to this. Of course there is, and you won't believe what they choose as the topic for trivia.
Who bumped penises?
All right, Jim. Here we go. Your category today is, in honor of Michael Hurley, dudes who look absolutely hysterical without their facial hair.
Yes!
They're still talking about facial hair, guys. All right, the first caller you're going to call, we're talking about facial hair.
Yes. If you didn't hear it, Hurley shaved his face, and now like his kids can't look at him. They like don't like it, and they want to leave the room. It spooks them out. He's got a 1-year-old who doesn't call him daddy anymore.
He's so much easily hateable.
No, he just looks way different. He does. He
I can't stand him.
It's the evil Michael Hurley?
No. If he had a goatee, then it would be evil Michael Hurley. He's got to grow a goatee. Yeah. Now he's just like
Uncle Gary.
No. Yeah, he's
I
like,
love to see these guys' notes. He's got like 6 bullet points for a 4-hour show. All right, let's see. Evil goatee. What else do I got here?
I think they belong over at Gebhardt's.
You know what? I have a lot more on this clip. I'm going to kill it. That's enough of that. That's enough. We get the point.
Podcast, WA.